As you all are aware, US and its allies have banned Russia from the SWIFT system.
Putin is the aggressor. Putin chose this war, and now he and his country will bear the consequences.
We are in the process of announcing key points of how this ban will largely work. Over the course of the next few minutes, we'll be able to tell you how significant is this impact, what is SWIFT, and what are the alternatives to Russia if it is removed from the SWIFT system. So SWIFT is basically a global messaging platform. It is not a payment system. It's a global messaging platform where one bank can talk to the other bank regarding the transactions that are going through. It's a secure transaction, it's a coded transaction. There is no human interference at either end. There's a code that gets along and which is only shared by the sender and the receiver, and it is a secret code. It was founded in about 1970s in Belgium, where about 200 banks came together and they decided to start something like this. Since then, it has spread across 200 countries. It has about 11,000 member banks who use this channel. Every year, trillions and trillions of dollars pass through this channel. And if you look at the average daily transaction, it ranges about 42 million. And it handles about half of the total large value world trade that happens presently. So it's pretty significant in terms of countries who are engaged in global world trade. And it is bound by the legal rules that operate in these countries. So hence, people will be, thinking why a SWIFT ban is, really significant. Basically, it has the potential of cutting a country out of the world trade channel. Russia is the only large G7 country which has ever been banned from this. The others which have been banned are the likes of Iran. And when Iran was removed from the system, it lost about a third of its total trade. When Russia had invaded Crimea, in 2014, US had put a lot of sanctions then also, and that point of time Russia had lost about $50 billion in trade. So it was a hit on their economy. Over the years, what we've seen is that, a lot of, in 2014 also, a lot of Russian banks were blacklisted. MasterCard and Visa, the global, payment operators had blocked transactions. So a lot of these sanctions had happened then also, and the Russian economy had taken a hit. But over the years, it has evolved certain systems where, it has taken back market share. Also, if to look at what exactly are the channels available right now. Back when Russia had invaded Crimea, they had started something called as a SPFS, which is a system for transfer of financial messages. Basically, this was launched because it wanted to replace the SWIFT system, because they were worried that they would be pulled out of the SWIFT system if something like this happens. And since then, a lot of foreign banks have been onboarded on this system. There are about 400 institutions who are part of this system, and the only issue is like SWIFT is a 24/7 system, and these are only limited systems, and it is only available during weekdays. The other issue is that China has also developed its own system. It's called CIPS, which is Chinese cross-border interbank payment system. It has also onboarded a lot of global foreign banks on this. But the only issue is that the currency, because the US dollar has like a 40% market share in the total world trade, while the renminbi has less than 2%. Experts are saying that these systems are fine, But maybe say a CIPS could become a more like a pan-Asian alternative rather than maybe a global trade option. The other options that say Russia has, it could deal in cryptos. I mean, there are other countries also dealing in cryptos for trade settlement, so they could also do that like North Korea does it. Could also, like for example, India hasn't taken a stance on whether they want to bar Russia out of the SWIFT system. So they could open a rupee accounts. So they could, continue to do trade in for countries which haven't banned them. In this, something like this has happened in the past also. When Iran was banned back in 2018, there was an account opened with UCO Bank, especially to deal, to do these trade settlement. As far as we know, and from our talks with Indian banks, the Indian government as of now hasn't given any specific directions on banning Russia from the SWIFT system. It's business as usual as far as SWIFT is concerned. But what happens is that a lot of Indian banks have subsidiaries, in Russia and other EU nations, European Union nations, and they do cross-border trade with those countries. So hence they are bound by the laws in those countries. So if, for example, a State Bank of India has a branch or a subsidiary in one of the EU nations which has sanctioned Russia, it has to abide by those laws in that particular country. Hence, SBI, for example, has sent out a lot of emails to its clients who are dealing with Russian oil and gas companies, Russian developers, trade, ports, to say that none of these transactions will be cleared because they are bound by the rules in the country that they are set up. It's not a total ban, because a lot of oil and gas, ports, a lot of these transactions are being allowed to happen, and only a certain segment of transactions are being banned. So they are basically evolving something in the SWIFT platform where only certain type of transactions will be banned. So it's not like a foolproof mechanism if you are being removed from the SWIFT system, but obviously it goes a long way in affecting your global trade volume. So while the SWIFT ban on Russia is not a foolproof mechanism on putting a total ban on Russia and removing it from global trade, but a sanction on a global central bank like Russia could go a long way in not only impacting the Russian economy but also its currency. There's another video coming up on this topic, so stay tuned. And Saloni Shukla.